at Journey's End Homes, and today we're going to show you how to build the cheapest, fastest, and easiest garage shelves that you can. So I've laid out some of the tools that we're going to need for the job, and the first thing that we want to do is design the layout of where the shelves are going to go in our garage. We've talked about that a little bit in the movies leading up to this. And what we've done is I've decided I want a shelf at 3 feet, which is about what you're used to for working at counter height. And then I want one at 5 feet, and then I want one at 6.5 feet. And when you're laying these out in your garage, an easy tip, if you don't have someone to hold the check or the chalk, is just to grab a nail, just a really light tap. Then you can stream your chalk onto the nail and snap this yourself. So our shelves are 16 feet long. So down we go. We put it on our mark that we've already made on the wall. Reach out a little ways if you can and snap the line. Then bring it away from the wall so you don't make a mess of your wall while you roll it back up. So there's lots of ways to do this. I think the easiest way to do this is to frame this similar to a wall and then hold it up on and attach it to the wall. And so the way that we're going to do that, I'll show you on the 8-foot section that I'm doing, and then we'll speed it up so you don't get bored with the rest. But I line these both up exactly the same, put my tape down these studs, and I'm going to frame on 2-foot centers. I think that's sufficient to climb around on and carry tons of weight. And then I'm going to mark right where my studs are going to go. So 2 feet, 4 feet, 6 feet, and we'll check just to make sure this is exactly 8 feet, which it is, so we know that stud's going to go right there. And then you get your speed square. Come back down to here. We know our studs are 1.5 inches, so it's right there. So here's our studs. Slide down to the next mark. And why do you do these at the same time? So that when you pull these apart and we put in our framing members, they'll be exact already. So 2, 4, 6. And this one's 1.5 inches. So we know our shelves are going to be 2 feet deep. We'll pull this apart, put our 2-foot pieces in, and nail them together. Welcome back. We've got our shelving framing members marked now. We've split them apart, and we're going to insert our support members into each shelf. We cut these at 21 inches. Remember, not 24 inches, because we want the overall width to be 24. That way we can rip a sheet of plywood in half, have 0 waste, and the 1.5 inches plus the 1.5 inches on the other side is 3, plus our 21 will give us 24. So we're going to get all these cut up, spread out, nailed in, and go from there. So this is my favorite stud finder, and this is what we need to do next on the wall, is lay out our studs so that we know where to attach our shelving unit to. So it's all nailed together, it's ready to go up on the wall. We're going to mark the studs. We've got our first shelf nailed up to the wall. I've tacked it in with 3-inch framing nails. I think that it's going to be best to go in and put in a couple screws into our studs as well, just to really suck that up and make it really strong against the wall. A 2x4x16 is kind of like a unicorn. If you find a straight one, hold on to it. So it's not completely perfect, but I did say that these shelves were going to be cheap, fast, and easy. And these come out to about, right now with current lumber pricing, where OSB sheets were about $19.50 a sheet. A 2x4x8 was $6. This is about $5.85 linear foot when we're all said and done. So I'm comparing probably to something like what you would find at Costco that's going to be between $18 and $22 a linear foot if you want it to be really strong and be able to hold it as much weight as these shelves are going to be able to hold. So we're going to go ahead and get these other 3 shelves built. We'll put up our braces for them, get our plywood on them, and get them ready to paint. Got our shelves all framed up and ready to tack to the wall. Before we do that, we marked with chalk where we're going to be, and then you can see our framing is at 16 inches on center, and we've marked out our studs so that when we lift this up onto the wall, it's ready to tack in. We'll tack it in with nails and then send in some screws afterward to make it nice and sturdy. This step on a 16-foot shelf is much easier to do with 2 people. So I've got my assistant on that other side. I'm going to set it up to the chalk line and start to tack this in. I'll get a couple on this end, then I'll come down to this end. And that should be good to hold it until we go down. We'll nail the rest and get some screws in. Support boards. Now I've marked these so that our shelves end up level at the same height that our marks were on the wall. So remember, we had a shelf at 36, so that's the top and the bottom of the shelf. A shelf at 5 feet at 60, and then the last shelf was just 18 inches higher. So we're going to nail these on right like this. We'll lift them up until it flushes out with our marks, tack them in, and add as many supports as you'd like to make your shelves nice and sturdy for you down the length of the 16 feet. Alright guys, you've seen what it takes to build the cheapest, bestest, strongest shelves out there. So we're going to keep on moving through the garage. We'll do the rest of this on time lapse, and we'll just keep cutting our boards here at 21 inches for our bracing and marking out on the wall as we go. The next one is set up to go right under the window, and we'll see you at the end. got to a point here working on our shelves in the U shape and figured that this was an important step that could get confusing. So what do you do when you've got a shelf and no walls to connect to? Well, I'm going to build this wall, which will, unlike these braces, will go all the way up to the ceiling and connect into our trusses. And that will keep the wall from wanting to go one way or the other. I'll also put a piece of pressure treated down on the bottom, and we'll secure that into the cement with Tapcon screws. So I'm going to do this part also on a time lapse so that you can see how to build a wall for your shelves when one doesn't already exist and you need them in the middle of your garage. All right, so here's the tricky part, building a wall for the support on these shelves. I've recruited my 2 oldest boys. Why have kids if not for free slave labor? So here you go, Bridge. Please video us how we do this real quick. Blake, you hold that up. Let's remove these temp braces that I have. Ready, here comes the weight. Slide this wall over into position, and you'll notice that I've got it pre-marked, so I already know what height we're going to have to be at. Okay? So up in the ceiling, we've got some speakers to work around. Down here, we're going to get this down a little bit. Get this tacked in. Nice and even. Just one on each side to hold it in position for now. And we'll level this wall out and be good.